Community Day, Easter Seals Crossroads, Mary Rigg Neighborhood Center. And in the box with me right now, coming in live, the financial wizard, the lady who has my mind all jacked up when I want to go spend pennies. Financial literacy specialist, Nikki. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great today. I'm super
Boy,
excited.
I am having too much fun so early on
I'm
a Saturday
excited.
morning. Miss Ducky is crawling back through here again. I
Hi,
told you.
lady.
I figured out why they call her Ducky, Nikki.
Oh, yeah, she's
We're
amazing.
going to save that for the later on segments of Jumbo Love. Radio Next, no, we are live and having a great time out here. And we've been introducing you today to all the participants that will be taking place for the Community Day with Easter Seals Crossroads and Mary Rigg Neighborhood Center. And if you have watched Tammy Thomas and Rigg Works Radio, this sister right here, man, when it comes to getting your mind right about getting your money right, Nikki,
I'm trying.
you're doing it because I have everybody who have met you saying the same thing. That daggone Nikki, I can't even jack my money off because Nikki got my mind all messed up. So please tell them your role over here, and then we want to get into some of the simple things that people need to know about managing their money.
So I've done a lot of thinking on this because I have different questions. And Miss Tammy asked me a question 6 months ago, and I was like, I don't have the answer. And it was like, how do you stop yourself from spending, impulse spending? So I'm a financial coach. So I sit down and I look at the whole situation. What's the credit? What's the savings? Are we banked? What's your goal? So I kind of look at all of that so we can develop that path of how to reach those goals. The biggest thing is you have to know what your relationship with money is. Does it work for you or do you work for it?
Wow.
Yeah, that's big, isn't it? And what is what's keeping you from reaching those goals? Yeah, rent is high right now, but what can we adjust? Are you willing to work a second job for 6 months to get where you want to go? It doesn't have to be forever. Are you willing to sacrifice?
What changes are you trying to make based on your current situation? Like you say, what is your relationship with money? That is powerful. And I don't think people look at it that way. They just get money and say, let me go spend it, instead of saying, okay, this is a partner of mine.
Yes. And they're not partnering or saying, okay, I'm going to make changes, because I can talk all day. I can say, this is your credit, and this is what we got to do to fix the credit, and this is what we got to do to save. And did you know about this account that'll help you save? But they have to apply it. So when they walk out of my office, if they don't follow the plan, if they don't apply it, we're still kind of back at square one. When are you going to start to make the changes?
And we know that we've got a couple of dynamics here. One thing is, the hardest thing about anything that you're trying to do new is to start. So have to begin somewhere.
To be ready to begin.
And then how do we begin where the people are is the other element to this, because a lot of times people just don't believe that they can save money based on their situation, when really every situation has a starting point where you can do better if you apply yourself.
And it all comes back to mindset. I've decided I'm going to do this, and you're going to hit some road construction along the way, but you can still get to where you want to go. And a lot of people, they don't give themselves that grace. Well, I didn't save, I didn't reach my goal, so I quit. Well, don't quit. Get back on the wagon and keep going on your journey. But you have to look at yourself, and you have to be willing to make changes. You can't blame it on others.
If we could have one determining factor, if you say, first of all, like you say, get your mind right. That's the first thing, I'm sure. You got to get your mind right to say, I am ready to incorporate some new ways to manage my dollars. After we get that right, what would be number one on the list of saying, okay, I've got my mind right, I'm ready to get my finances together? After seeing Nikki, what would you recommend?
After they see me?
After they see you, there's going to be a starting point.
Okay.
That what would be the number one thing that
follow the plan.
Follow the plan.
Follow the plan.
That sounds just like a coach. My coach used to tell me that. Don't ask too many questions, Jumbo. Just run the play.
Okay. And if you don't run the play, what happens?
You mess up.
That's right. And I had a client 2 weeks ago say, the Colts lost. And the coach said, you got to make the plays. He said, I'm not making the plays you're telling me to. I said, praise God.
Now the enrollment process at Mary Rigg Neighborhood Center, you guys have so many various programs. I know that they can go to maryrigg.org and find out But do you have scheduled classes that you teach over here at Mary Rigg for financial literacy?
I don't.
We need some.
It's hard to get people to show up because schedules are always so busy. I work second, I work first, I work third.
Plus, they're scared of knowing how jacked up they are with their money.
Yeah, people don't really.
I mean, we don't like to tell.
Really
we don't like to tell when we're messed up.
We
and
don't.
Most of us, truth be told, are kind of messed up on our money.
It's better to kind of do a one-on-one. It's because then I can hold someone's hand. We can cry together. We can talk about this is where we are. We can be angry, but we can figure it out, and it's just personal.
But that public arena allows for no. I ain't gonna tell how jacked up. But we start getting people who want to hide and not discuss what their vulnerabilities are.
Right.
What do you think the number one reason people have messed up finances? I think personally, not the finance. I just think it's lack of training.
Oh yeah, we don't know. No one tells us anything. And then at 18, you're an adult. Go live a life and don't mess up.
Get your check, first check.
What do I do with it?
Yeah.
How do I open a bank account? My parents didn't have bank accounts, so I don't trust a bank. Or there's no banks around.
Now, teaching people and families about financial literacy, I think that the earlier the better in most anything.
Absolutely.
Talk about what we need to do as families. What do we need to do when we have children to start addressing financial literacy, where it's part of our everyday, like our nutrition's part of it, getting up and walking if you want to stay healthy is part of it. Your finances need to be part of that cachet of things that you do on a daily.
Yes. And it has to be, it's going to be different for every family. It's going to be what works for you. So my 16-year-old knows when dad gets paid. He knows mom pays the bills on Wednesday. He knows kind of what we do. He's there at the grocery store. He knows how much it costs to go to the grocery. And he knows when we got our electric bill. I started walking around unplugging stuff.
I'm glad you mentioned this, Nikki, because there's plenty of brothers and sisters living over here that's my age. The kids didn't know nothing about the money. I mean, it's tragic now that you know it, but the kids weren't even allowed into the arena of what is going on with bills, what is going on with our finances as a family. And it was just, like you say, the environment that you grew up in and the time that you grew up in. But we know now that's all wrong.
Well, they see a parent swiping, so they know mom and dad are paying for stuff. They don't know how the money got there. Did you work? You only work 38 hours or 30? You don't have vacation? What does all this mean? They're not. You have to talk to them. You have to teach them.
Now, do we still do allowances? I'm a little bit old and dated. Are there still allowances out there? Because I used to work my tail off to get my $2 a week to take the trash out and do the floor.
It depends on the family. The people that I have talked to, they don't.
Okay.
There's a lot of guilt. I couldn't buy my kids shoes. So when I get that tax check, I'm going to spend all that tax check. Because there's that
trying to compensate.
Guilt. Yeah. What if you said, hey, here's your budget of $10 a week, $5 a week, whatever is going to work. Okay, kid, you got to figure it out.
Because how you spend $10 is how you spend $1,000.
It is.
It's just habit.
It is. How are you going to manage it? What's your mindset? What are you willing to do? And then, I had a friend who her daughter knew the budget because it was just the two of them. And so her daughter knew what to ask for, what not to ask for. And I'm going to get a job too to help out.
And you mentioned that, and I would think daughter, mother, that kind of relationship would be a lot easier than having four kids, all different ages, and you're trying to express financial importance and financial literacy to a 16-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 8-year-old, and a 4-year-old. I'm sure it gets muddy.
Yes, I'm sure it does. But you have to figure out what's going to work for you, and every family is going to be different.
So, people, if you're out there listening, I suggest you contact Mary Rigg and find out how to get on a financial plan. And that's the first step. Make your mind up and say, I know I'm jacked up. And that's the reason I told you I'm guilty, is because I know I'm messed up with my finances as far as what would make me great and what just keeps me afloat and moving along the same way. And I don't like this. I want to be prominent in my financial situation.
People are tired of trying to figure it out. Well, let's stop. Let's stop trying to figure it out.
Well, you can contact Mary Rigg Neighborhood Center and get all this advice all day, every day, 1920 West Morris Street, man. Thank you so much. And thank you for understanding how important financial literacy is in part of your everyday life. Sometimes we just take things for granted, and we take money for granted.
We do.
How we
And
use
we
it and
all-
spend it for granted.
We all have it, but we have to manage it. And that's
Well,
what I'm here to help do.
And she's going to be here all day, 11
day.
a.m. to 1 p.m. over here at Mary Rigg Neighborhood Center, 1920 West Morris Street. Ask for Nikki, the financial queen over here at Mary Rigg Neighborhood Center. I'm going to get back to this music, Nikki. Thank you so